Forfeits are being brought up in chat, and guys, I can tell you right now, we have no information on why anyone is forfeited at this point. Our best conclusion is the fact that, frankly, there's so many good players playing today, it might not actually be worth spending 6 hours fighting through the loser's bracket only to get knocked out by Bunny at the end type thing, right? So, we don't know why anyone forfeited, but Little Bao and supposedly Firecake as well have both given up spots. So that's just the loser's bracket, though. No one in the winner's bracket's forfeited yet. We're still casting these matches. This one leads one of the two players into the winner's bracket semifinals. The score is tied up 1-1, and in the top left corner of the map, we've got the blue Terran player, Liquid Bunny.
In the bottom right says the red Terran. It's uThermal.
So uThermal, I mean, even when losing, uThermal looks good. There's a lot of reasons we give this guy a lot of praise when we cast him, and we have high expectations of him. I don't know, like from the sort of silly Friday night BM streams he does with those guys in show matches to the Dutch StarCraft League. uThermal's just always been a player that's fun to watch. uThermal's always been a player who has got good control of the game in every aspect except TVZ. So if you ever hear there's a TVT or a TVP with uThermal, you better get hyped. That being said, Bunny had a really good last game. He played that out quite well, despite the fact that he almost lost his command center, not once but twice. I don't know if it was balls, stubbornness, or stupidity not canceling that CC at 25 health, but it worked out for him.
It did. It was just a lot to do with uThermal being so late on his own command center. I mean, it seemed like he delayed it even further than he was supposed to for the build because he thought he saw an opportunity to be a micro god. And it wasn't. It was almost there.
It was almost there. It really was. Like we had that cool surround in the middle of the map. The Vikings. I don't know. I would definitely love to see this go. Like with the fact that we've had a bit of scrappiness in game 1 and game 2. It's a good representation of how I like watching the matchup. Like don't let any player play passively, even if you're not doing a lot of damage. Get in there with a Banshee, snipe an SCV or two. But I would like to see a full-on macro game out of these two. I would love to see how tank positioning goes down, how they handle Marine tank versus Marine tank type thing.
Yeah, it'd be fun. Coda, I mean, it's a smaller map, but it has a lot of avenues of attack. It would be kind of... It can be a map that ends abruptly. It's not like merry-go-round, where for some reason everyone always like one base build on that map. And just like who had the better like drop by air position, but obviously Coda's main bases have a lot of, like, you know, the space to drop in the left side for Bunny, for instance, and of course that third base seems to just be a little too far away to really be always secure about taking it. So we do see Terrans take the one that's in front of or below their main bases, make that triangle.
A couple of SCVs did go down there. 2 not devastating, but still sucks. Don't typically want to lose anything to that Reaper, of course. But Banshee coming out at a pretty quick time here for uThermal, whereas Bunny's itched and gone for that faster command center. So, on one hand, Bunny might be able to sustain the losses from this Banshee. On the other, this could spiral. The problem is he's not going to have that second gas, so he can't go for his own Banshees just yet. He also can't get a Raven out too easily. I mean, he'll have a Viking, and we'll see if turrets will be out in time, but uThermal definitely has the opportunity to do a bit of damage here.
Yeah. And the thing about going for your own one base opener versus a... 2 base opener, early command center, here we go. It's just that by even going for Banshees, you already force out something, and usually the best Terran players can get more done with the Banshees. So besides getting missile turrets down and forcing them to get a Viking and maybe a Widow Mine that they aren't necessarily going to use as the game goes on, you also get a couple SCV kills. And then usually we see the Banshee player go for double expansions behind this. Just the way that everyone's doing it nowadays.
Yeah, it's not so bad either. Picking up Marines, they're not exactly the most high priority target. In fact, I would argue they're probably the lowest priority target. But those can really, in the early game, stifle a push. And if you find yourself down 10 Marines to a push, even a small one out of uThermal, it can be quite bad. But turret the production line, turret each the mineral lines. Oh, good reactor. It's not bad. 50 minerals.
Yeah, Bunny felt so confident about his missile turrets protecting him that he didn't get a Viking, he got a medevac. And he's gonna do a Widow Mine Marine drop, and I'm not sure Bunny I'm not sure uThermal is going to expect this. He must be scratching his head like, where are the Marines? Where are the Marines? And he has all of his buildings in his main base, so it shouldn't be too hard to defend.
Well, I mean, he's got a Raven here too, so it is like an auto turret, a couple of Marines, should be manageable. But the alerts have gone out. He now knows what's up. There's a tank here as well. Just pull the SCVs back momentarily, and I think he cleans this up no problem. Unless he builds the Raven on top of it for no reason.
Oh!
Widowmine getting the Raven is a huge pick, because now he's got no detection, of course, for that. Widowmine tanks on the backside. I guess he was too busy microing the Banshee on the other side of the map to really take this cost effectively. This went quite terribly for uThermal.
God, I hope it Widowmine doesn't rearm. Ooh. Ooh.
Yeah, a couple SCVs could die from Splash.
Yep, yeah, that's true. Bunny gets a lot done with that drop. That was a nice drop. At the end of the day, it's not like, you know, it's not really, really terrible. It's not like the 12 SCVs we saw in the first game, but it's still 8. That's still pretty good. uThermal really has like a slight army supply lead, and that isn't enough, I think, when you include like tanks being the way that they are to push and do damage. So.
Well, I'd argue the worst part about this for uThermal isn't just that, but his orbital's still not down. Like, it's only just coming down now. Marines could actually physically block that. A Widowmine here would have been great, actually.
Annoying. Yeah. uThermal still going to invest in these Banshees, too. Is going to try and push out to at least stall out something. You know, make Bunny miss a macro, you know, cycle every once in a while, or lose a tank unnecessarily, stuff like that. That's you do get by having the bigger army supply, of course, but as far as pushing in to kill Bunny, I don't think he can do it. I think.
Oh, no. Run over the Marines. A little bit awkward. It's what, 1 tank to 2 at the moment. Second tank coming out soon from Bunny.
Well, maybe he can push in. Because if that tank gets too much damage on it, it might be.
That Banshee. I'm surprised the Banshee didn't just go dive for the tank right away. That would have actually been fantastic. Vikings are here on the front line, but they're not really doing anything. Scan finally goes down, but the tanks are busy shooting SCVs instead of the other tank. Banshee takes out the tank with its last shot, though.
Bunny not with enough tanks out. I mean, the second tank is like sieged up with the first one, and I think that he held this, you know, almost no problem. But well, it's just traded out exactly the way that uThermal wanted to. Like now, they're back down to even workers.
Yeah. However, there's Marines picking off on this base.
A little annoying.
That could be problematic because this is starting to spiral out of control. Where uThermal might just win the game off this. If he gets on top of production, that's when it gets real bad news bears. Now, another SCV pull is going to come into effect. This siege tank is a little bit awkward. It's going to friendly fire his friend there. A little bit unfortunate. But this other tank on the ground, yeah, he's demolishing workers.
Yeah.
Banshee's still going ham. There's no scans at the moment. He needs mules, frankly. Back at home, his command center does get lifted to the main, but reinforcements still streaming across the map. And these tanks, these Banshees, this Marine, they're all almost dead, but they've kind of done their job at this point. Even if uThermal fully backs away from this, he's up so many workers to Bunny. Yeah, it's not like Bunny's got a 3rd CC. He's got all these racks that he can't produce from because he doesn't have the money.
Yep. 16 SCVs. Now Bunny's with a slight army supply lead, but again, I just like uThermal's tank production has been pretty consistent.
How many? I want to kill this Marine. How many kills does this damn thing have? It's killed so many more. Like the second one that died was like the Carbot Marine, right? That season finale, like the two buddies. But like, damn, these have done a lot of 6 kills. Not bad.
uThermal looking for a kill move.
I almost feel that like by going for a kill move right now, it could be one of those things though where you dedicate too hard, end up losing because you tried too hard.
Maybe. We'll see. It's Bunny that pushes
Bunny out of
to
position.
This.
Why?
Oh, okay.
Bunny, why?
He didn't want to get sieged up and contained, I guess. I mean, all said and done, he doesn't take a bad fight. They both kind of wash on those units, but of course uThermal has more units rallying across the map. Well,
what's worse, a new Banshee's here too. Let's not forget this. Bunny, I don't think he's dropped any mules in the last like 3 minutes. It's been scan after scan after scan after scan, looking for these Banshees, despite having that turret coverage. And these unsieged tanks are just barely too much to deal with.
Yeah, he can't afford to produce enough Marines to take on the tanks. That's pretty sad. It's only 2 unsieged tanks, and he can't do it.
I mean, the SCV pull coming into effect once again, but as we see, pulling SCVs, that's like putting your life on the line, very literally. This is the lifeblood of the economy, and this Banshee dodges again! What?
Let's go down. Bunny this is the winner's match, the winner's bracket. So
yeah, but I don't think anyone expected uThermal to take on Bunny.
Hey,
in fact, yeah, bets. I want to throw. We never went over these. The bets, Zombie Grub. 24,900 on Bunny, 8,000 on uThermal. So congratulations, uThermal fans.